Let's get into it, because this one's messy. DDG is once again in the middle of a clout storm, playing the victim while pushing a narrative that just doesn't hold up under even the slightest scrutiny. So here's the deal. He's out here trying to pitch a dating show. Allegedly, one he spent $150,000 on, all while being visibly affectionate, flirty, and borderline coupled up with none other than India Love. Yes, that India Love. The same India Love who has her own reputation in the industry and whose mom reportedly referred to DDG as her work husband. This whole thing is not only confusing, it's deeply contradictory. On the one hand, DDG wants us to believe he's this eligible bachelor seeking love through a high-stakes, premium production. On the other, he's slow dancing, cuddling, and twerking with someone he's clearly not trying to convince us is just a friend. So the question is, how does this add up? How do you sell a love-seeking journey to the public when your real-life behavior screams already taken? As someone who's been watching reality dating shows for years, from Love Island to The Bachelor, Too Hot to Handle, and F-Boy Island, I can tell you that one of the core elements that makes these shows work is believability. Even if the premise is over the top, the show's lead has to at least appear emotionally available. If the viewer sense that it's all fake or pre-decided, they'll check out immediately. In DDG's case, the believability just isn't there. He's doing all the things that directly contradict the image he's trying to sell. He wants to be the single man looking for love, but he's parading around with India Love like they're already an Instagram couple. You can't have it both ways. You can't kiss someone on stream and then turn around and tell your fans you're about to embark on a quest for the one. Audiences are smarter than that, and this isn't their first rodeo. They know a fake when they see one. To make matters worse, DDG has been hyping this dating show like it's his magnum opus. He's bragging in clips about spending $150,000, more than anything he's ever invested in, from Twitch streams to music videos. He's positioning this project as bigger than Streamer Prom, more groundbreaking than anything on Netflix or MTV. But here's the thing, if you're dropping that kind of money and telling your audience it's going to change the game, shouldn't the integrity of the show be your first priority? Instead, what we're getting is a man who's talking about producing premium content while acting in a way that undercuts every foundational rule of a dating series. A dating show requires the lead to be emotionally open, not performing romance elsewhere in real time for another audience. Now let's get into what might be the most scandalous part of this entire situation. The claim that DDG allegedly paid India Love $50,000 to pretend to be in a relationship with him. All as a way to make his ex, Halle Bailey, jealous. That's a wild accusation, but one that multiple outlets and commentators have started to report. And honestly, when you look at the receipts, it's not that hard to believe. Everything about their relationship feels performative. It feels staged. It doesn't even attempt to hide the fact that it's meant to trigger a response, and not from the audience, but from one person, Hal. But here's the kicker, it flopped. Not only did Hal move on gracefully and quietly, but even India Love's own mother allegedly came forward and shut the whole thing down, calling it a scam and essentially outing DDG as a clout collaborator. When your partner's mom is airing you out, maybe it's time to rethink your strategy. But instead of reevaluating or owning any part of the failure, DDG does what he always does. He blames someone else. And in this case, his go-to scapegoat is Halle Bailey. He went on a rant recently claiming that the reason he can't secure sponsorships for his dating show is because Hal filed some kind of paperwork back in May 2025 that scared off brands. That's not just petty, it's desperate. Because here's the reality, sponsorship deals aren't falling through because of Hal. They're falling through because brands don't want to associate themselves with messy, inconsistent, drama-laced influencers who can't keep their stories straight. It's not about the ex, it's about him. He's failing to take accountability for his own public image, and instead of cleaning up the mess, he's throwing the blame on someone who, by all appearances, has moved on peacefully. Let's be honest here. The concept of the dating show could have worked. DDG does have an audience. He has reach. He has the platform. But what he doesn't seem to have is the understanding that dating shows rely on authenticity, even if they're dramatized. He's trying to combine the hype and optics of Flavor of Love or For the Love of Ray J without recognizing what made those shows watchable in the first place, the illusion, at least, that the man was available. Flavor Flav didn't have a girlfriend on the side. Ray J was single when his show aired. They committed to the role. DDG, on the other hand, is too busy manufacturing headlines and playing pretend with India love to give the show a real chance. If a single contestant actually catches real feelings for him during this so-called dating show, it's going to be a disaster. Because they'll be entering into a competition that's already been rigged for Instagram clout. At the core of this whole situation is a painful truth. DDG doesn't seem to care about love or meaningful connection. He cares about clicks, views, headlines. He wants people to believe he's a desirable, sought-after celebrity who has women lining up to date him. Not because he's genuinely looking for a partner, but because he's obsessed with the perception of being wanted. That's why we're seeing these public stunts. That's why India love is suddenly front and center. That's why every failure gets spun as someone else's fault. It's never about growth. It's about optics. It's about creating just enough chaos to make sure people are still talking. And here's where things get really dangerous. If DDG actually goes through with this dating show and casts real people who believe they're competing for his love, they're walking into a trap. Imagine putting yourself out there emotionally, opening up on camera, competing for someone's affection, only to find out he's been love-bombing another woman the entire time for content. That's not just disrespectful. That's manipulative. That's reality TV trauma waiting to happen. And for what? For a few more views? For a headline? For revenge on an ex who already left him behind? The saddest part in all of this is that DDG could have made this work. If he had just stopped the antics, created space between himself and India, and presented himself as genuinely ready to move forward, he could have had a real shot at a compelling series. Audiences love redemption arcs. They love rooting for someone who's healing, who's vulnerable, who's doing the work. But instead, he's out here chasing a revenge narrative, trying to win a game Hal's no longer playing. And it's making him look emotionally immature, thirsty, and deeply out of touch with what his audience wants to see. So, at the end of the day, we have to ask, who is DDG really doing this for? Because it's not the fans, it's not about love, it's not even about content in the truest sense, it's about ego. It's about needing to be seen as the winner in a breakup he didn't control. But guess what? You can't manipulate your way into public sympathy. You can't fake love and expect real sponsors. You can't sell a fantasy while the receipts are sitting right there on social media, exposing every contradiction. If DDG really wants to turn this around, if he wants to be taken seriously, if he wants to build something lasting, he's going to have to do something he has avoided time and time again: take responsibility. Cut the distractions, be honest about the motives, own the mistakes. Until then, all this energy he's spending trying to look unbothered is only confirming what we already know. He's bothered, very bothered, and everyone can see it.